Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Now, with no further ado, let's get into this morning's video, if you will. It's about 1:31 a.m. Thursday morning, just getting off from the evening shift. And I had no intention on making a video this morning for the simple fact that I made one earlier today. So y'all go check my video out earlier today if you didn't get a chance to watch it. But I always read my comments and I try to respond to my comments as quickly as possible. Sometimes it may take me a day or two, but I always respond. And there was some people that, for whatever reason, one of my older videos talking about Master P, the mogul, Master P, owing certain people money. And it was just one of those videos in which I was saying, Master P, I respect you. I respect everything that you did. I respect your hustle. I respect everything, that you taught the culture about getting money. But at the same time, why don't you just pay the people that you owe? A video I did several months ago, and I guess it started to circulate. I never really understand this whole YouTube thing and algorithm, and I just put videos out and they do what they do. And so I had a few people that was actually commenting on those older videos. And one person in particular was like, a lot of these artists, they're never going to be satisfied. They're always going to say that you owe them something. This is Master P right here, man. He taught us this. He taught us that. And I get it. I'm a Master P fan. Anybody that knows me, you can just look at some of my videos. I'm a Master P fan. Never going to hate on P. But at the same time, I got to keep it real. I got to keep it 100. So I went back and I looked at the video that I made, because like I said, it was several months ago when I made this video. And my problem with Master P is this. I said it then and I'll say it again. And this is absolutely no hate whatsoever. But if you tell the truth, does that mean you hating? Or does it mean you're just simply an adult and you're just telling the truth? Was I a No Limit soldier? At heart, I was. I wasn't with Master P and the No Limit Soldiers and actually in their presence, other than being at a concert. But when you hear enough people speaking, you can put the pieces of the puzzle together, if you will. My problem with Master P is that he never really denies owing certain people money. When it's brought up to him, he kind of dances around the subject. He never really addresses the issue. He'll say something like, oh man, it's 25 years ago. I ain't even in the music business no more. They ain't moved on. They ain't made a better life for themselves. They ain't hustling. But being that it's 25 years ago or more doesn't erase the fact that you owe certain people money. Now, there are certain people that are just ungrateful. I understand that, when you own a record label, you have people that, they feel entitled. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to give me this. You didn't pay me what I'm worth. You didn't do that. I understand that part. I get it totally. But then you have individuals that are coming forward saying, no. Like the individual Tobin Costin, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Vice president of No Limit Records, former vice president. He tells his story. He tells his story in the documentary, No Limit Chronicles. However, he said that a lot of the things that he talked about, they were edited out. But he later goes on to tell his story on a separate podcast. And he tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Do I believe he was telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth? No, I don't. However, I do believe that a lot of the stories he was telling as far as the finances, I tend to believe that. You know, Tobin talked about how when No Limit Records, you know, semi took off in 89, between 89 and 93, no one knew who Master P was. They were, you know, he was putting out records, he was putting out albums, but he never really took off. He went as far as to say that he was a laughingstock. Wasn't there, don't know. Just because he said it, don't mean it's necessarily true. Somehow him and P were able to cross paths. Tobin was a very well-spoken, well-dressed, educated guy. P brought him on board, vice president of No Limit Records. From 93 to 96, Tobin says that those were the years that he was with the Tank, took off. You know, Mama's Bad Boy. It was another CD, but I don't remember the name of it. The Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me. 99 Ways to Die. Down South Hustlers. West Coast Bad Boys. He didn't take the credit as far as putting those things together solely, but he said that he was the kind of the brains, along with P. He said P was very sharp, very smart. But he was kind of the brains behind the operation for the simple fact that, and I tend to believe him on that, because when you're getting into a new business, you don't know all of these things. I don't care how sharp you are. I don't care how smart you are. There are certain things that you just don't know unless you're taught by an individual that does know. You see what I'm saying? So he talks about how when P says, you know, I had to pay $25,000 for Michael Jackson's attorney to sit down with him and get advice. He said that never, ever happened. He said totally made up. I tend to believe him. Again, no shade on P. I'm a No Limit fan, just like the majority of people, you know, that are going to have something to say. Respectfully. But I tend to believe Tobin when he says that. And when you really start to break it down, it's like, okay, P said that him and C Murder were talking to Jimmy Iovine and they offered him $1 million. But he'd have to sign over his name, his likeness. Basically, he wouldn't even own his name. So he had $500 in his pocket. He turned the deal down. And Jimmy Iovine told him, you'll never work in this town again. And he flew back home to the projects. And him and C Murder was arguing and fussing the whole way home. Now, if you really, really do the math on that, at that point, P had been selling hundreds of thousands of records on the street independent. They were trying to get a deal at that point. So why would he only have $500 in his pocket? Like, you all have to really, really break it down and listen to a person talk. Because when you really listen, a person is really going to tell you everything you need to know. All you got to do is just sit back and listen. Why would you only have $500 in your pocket? You see what I'm saying? You done sold all of these records out of your trunk, which Tobin had acknowledged. Several $100,000, but you only got $500, and you talking to Jimmy Iovine. So you like, oh man, we came back and we hustled, and we came back and talked to Michael Jackson's lawyer. Tobin said that never happened. I believe him. I definitely do. Doesn't take away from P's brilliance. Doesn't take away from his hard work. Doesn't take away from the fact that No Limit Records, in my opinion, was the biggest movement I've ever seen. I've never seen a movement bigger. I've seen people sell more albums. I've seen people, I don't know. It was a movement that we'll probably never, ever in life see again. I give a lot of that credit, much of that credit, to Master P. Absolutely no hate, no shade. But do I believe he did it on his own? No, absolutely not. You're not going to know all of these things to do and say, the people to talk to. You're not. It takes a village. It takes a team. Now, Tobin went on to talk about how two key points that I'm going to bring up in this video, so I hope you all have a little time. Tobin talks about how he was owed $400,000 from Master P. He said because what happened was when they got the deal, all of the money that was that was coming in from the record sales, they was putting right back into the next project. So they had to kind of like the Dame Dash, I keep it in the streets. You know how Dame Dash says he never holds on the money, he puts his work back out on the streets. Well, No Limit Records at that particular time seems as though that was their frame of mind. Okay, we bring in $200,000. We're not gonna go buy cars. We're gonna promote the next album, the next 3, 4, 5 albums. So he goes on to talk about how the infamous 85-15% deal that Master P had. He helped to negotiate that deal. He goes on to say that Master P wanted to sign an artist deal to where he would only get 20%. But Tobin was like, no, we don't want to do this because if you do this, you're signing away your rights. It's a 10-year deal. You're not going to be able to even use your own image, your own likeness. No, let's look at some other things. Somehow Wendy Day became, I don't know exactly how she was brought into the fold, but from what I know, from what I understand, she helped negotiate the deal. So they ended up, instead of signing an artist deal, they did a distribution deal in which No Limit got 85%. The distribution company, Priority Records, got 15%. However, he had to put his own money up for marketing and promotion. Well, they felt like we was doing this anyway. 99 Ways to Die, and I believe he said West Coast Bad Boys. It was either West Coast Bad Boys or Down South Hustlers. They was both in like the top, top 50, top 30. With their own marketing money and promotion. So they were like, we've been doing this anyway. They wanted to do the Down South Hustlers. They were telling people, at the time, 8 Ball and MJG, they were huge in the South. They're going to be on it. So once everybody knew that 8 Ball and MJG were going to be on the album, yeah, I'm aboard. Sign me up. Seemingly. The problem is, they had the connections, they had the relationships with these people, but they didn't have the money to really pay them. Yeah, they had money coming in, but that money was going right back out the door. So they went back to Priority Records, and they say, hey, listen, this is what we want to do. Priority, they're on board. Everything P's touching at that point is turning to gold. They wanted Master P and No Limit Records to put out the Down South Hustlers. Problem is, P say, we ain't really got the money. We got the money, but we don't have the money to really, really do it right. Mind you, this is in the 90s, the mid-90s. Can't really recall exactly what year that Down South Hustlers came out, but this was, between 93 and 96. What can we do? How can you all, throw us some more bread? Priority say, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll throw you $250,000. How much money y'all need? We need $250,000. Cool. We'll throw you $250,000, but we need more percentage of your company. So instead of it being an 85-15% split, it went from 80-20. No Limit, Master P, Tobin, they agreed. They get to $250,000. They take that $250,000, put it all into the Down South Hustlers. It explodes. It takes off. So instead of getting 85% at this point, No Limit Records, they're getting 80%. It's still a deal that we've never, ever seen ever before in life. And I believe the only people that's ever received a deal like that was the predecessors. Cash Money Records. New Orleans. And so once that happened, the company took off. Money was coming in. But again, the money coming in doesn't necessarily mean, like in the record business, you don't just get paid every week, every 2 weeks. It may be 3, 4, quarterly. You may get paid 5 months later, 4 months later. So when the money was coming in, it was like, okay, I know that this is coming, but we don't have it right now. Tobin had negotiated a deal with P to where he got a percentage of every album that was sold. So P was $200, according to Tobin. P was $200 in the red with Tobin. I'm sorry, $200,000 in the red with Tobin. P came to him and asked him, hey, I'm trying to get this American Express card. Can you put it in your name? He said he thought nothing of it. Like I said, plenty of money was coming in. P had always taken care of the large debts before. Said he thought nothing of it. Said P was telling him the whole time, man, I'm going to take care of the money I owe you. Plus, we're going to pay this American Express card off. But, we need more cash flow, what have you. No problem. Tobin, like I said, Tobin was a well-educated, smart gentleman, had great credit. So even though the American Express said No Limit Records, you still have to have somebody that's backing that, because No Limit Records didn't have their own credit file. They didn't have their own credit history. I don't even know if Duns and Bradstreet existed back then. For you all that don't know Duns and Bradstreet, if you have a business that you're trying to get off the ground and you want to have your own, separate credit file, separate from your own credit file, look up Duns and Bradstreet. But that's a different video for a different day. You all that have businesses and you understand, if you know, you know. So basically, Tobin put the credit card in his name and it said No Limit Records, but he was the personal guarantor. It was like he was the co-signer. If anything should happen, it's going to fall back on Tobin. Had no problem. He did it. After some time, he realized, when am I going to get my money? Here I am. I'm a young guy. I got a baby on the way. I got a wife. when am I going to get my bread? P never wanted to pay him, according to Tobin. Now, this is the part to where I feel as though Tobin wasn't being 100%, you got to kind of know how to read between the lines. You see what I'm saying? You got to know how to, you can't just believe any and everything that a person says. After so long, Tobin realized he wasn't going to get paid. Because the longer, the more successful that No Limit was, the more that he was anticipating getting my money. Listen, P, we didn't sold this. We didn't sold this amount of albums. Where's my bread at? I got this credit card in my name. This is falling back on me, not you. Don't even trip, man. I got you. We got to the point to where Tobin was not as confident that he was going to get his money. You keep telling me you got me. Don't got me, get me. Don't got me, get me. P didn't like that. So I believe that Tobin wasn't being forthcoming, he said P ended up cutting him off. He wanted King George to break his jaw because some things that he told the late, great Big Ed, rest in peace, and Big Ed exposed him. Tobin was trying to take over No Limit Records because he felt as though I'm the brains behind the operation. 89 to 93, they was laughing at Master P. Nobody knew anything about him. 93 to 96, taking over the world. Taking over the world. Or about to take over the world. So I believe as though he was trying to recruit Big Ed, King George, some of Master P's other artists. Come on with me. I'm the brains behind the operation. Forget him. I'm the brains. Little did he understand Master P he's the artist. He's everything. People want to see Master P. So yeah, you can get these other artists and take them, but guess what? It's going nowhere without P. So I believe that he tried to use his intelligence to take over the company. P got wind of it through Big Ed. He wanted Tobin to be broke off. King George didn't want to do it, so he split ways with King George. That's why to this day, I'm not sure if they even speak, but I know that I never seen them ever do business again after that. And in the early No Limit days, man, King George and Master P was like this, man. You know, keep it all, you know, the original TRU. The original. Never seen them work together whatsoever. King George went against P. Didn't break Tobin's jaw. P split from Tobin, which is his right. The problem that I have with P, why don't you pay the man? You owe the man 400 G's. 400,000. You have a history, it seems as though, not paying. Lil Romeo just last year talked about it. Yeah, we have this. Everybody's not lying. And again, I'm a Master P, but I got to keep it real. Lil Romeo said, man, I ain't never been paid for being Lil Romeo. I ain't never been paid from rap snacks. I ain't never been paid for any of the business ventures that I've done under Lil Romeo. I've been taking care of this family. It seems as though we got all this money because we got in this big, we live in this big mansion. Think back now. Whack 100. He say, Master P, man, he rents that house. He don't own that. That's his financial business. That's his personal right. Maybe he don't want to own it. P came and, acknowledged it. I don't own all my property, some of my rent. But Lil Romeo, he exposed P, and P didn't like that. Since I was 18, I've been taking care of this family. I paid my dad's taxes. I paid this. I paid that. Supposedly, Master P lost his masters to the government to pay his taxes. I don't know. Really don't even care. But I'm just saying these are the things that have been brought out. C Murder has said, man, my brother, man, he ain't really been supporting me. Has he ever supported C Murder? I believe he has. I just believe that, as time went on, P was just like, man, I ain't got it. Or I ain't going to keep doing it. You ungrateful. Do I think P's broke? Absolutely not. Do I think he's worth the $200 million that Forbes is reporting him to be worth? Absolutely not. How is he going to be worth $200 million and Birdman and his brother are barely worth $200 million collectively? Maybe $300 million. P ain't sold an album in years. But I know people will say, oh, it don't matter. He had No Limit this. He had No Limit that. He did this. He did that. Man, it was 20-something years ago. It was 20-something years ago. Not to mention that he's gone through a divorce. What do you think, Lil Romeo's just making these things up? All my siblings are broke. Now, obviously, the youngest two are not. One that plays at Louisville, he got an NIL deal. And then his youngest son, he's the truth, Mercy. He's getting a couple NIL deals, and, he's probably going to end up in the league within the next year or two. Health permitted. So, no, they're not broke, but when you're hearing it straight from, Lil Romeo saying all my siblings are broke, there's an image as though, we have this and we have that. I've been holding this family together financially. And if you look at it, I don't even believe they follow each other at this point. You don't see them making videos. You don't see them in any pictures together at this point. None. Go look it up. Look up Instagram. Master P, Roman, I don't even think they follow each other. So the thing about it is this. I don't believe that everybody is lying on Master P. As much as it doesn't really hurt me to say it because the truth is the truth. And then you got Beats by the Pound. The second part of this discussion, Beats by the Pound. They said it. We ain't get paid. Tobin goes on to talk about with Beats by the Pound, they're making every beat in-house. It was never really an agreement. It was just like, look, man, y'all do this. We're going to pay you, work for hire. He said that's what it was. We're going to pay you, work for hire, and we're going to take care of you on the back end. Okay, cool. Well, Beats by the Pound, they making beats. They don't ever really get a chance to do anything outside of the studio. Well, light bulb went off in their head. Well, hold on, man. I'm seeing all this success, but we ain't seeing no money. What's up, P? We want to see the books, man. What do we want what we have coming to us. We producing all of these hits. They bring it up to P. P's not hearing that. He gets mad. We want our own separate lawyers to look at this paperwork. It's just business. Tobin talks about how anytime anyone challenges P, he cuts him off. I definitely can believe it. This whole military attitude and this whole, my thing is this with P, man. You talk about God so much, and I believe you're a God-fearing man. And I believe, so I'm not going to sit up here and who am I to call you a false prophet? I don't feel that way in the first place. But even if I did, who am I? I can't judge anyone else. But when you talk about, you're a God-fearing man and God this and God that, and I'm glad you've changed your life, and I'm glad, well, God tells you to pay people what they owe. I don't care how many years ago it was. Pay them people what you owe them, man. You might not have the money to pay them out of your pocket. You might not want to pay them out of your pocket. I'm quite sure you can go get Beats by the Pound. You can go get Tobin. You can go get a couple other people that you probably owe. Hey, listen, the past was the past, but I want to make it right. Like Birdman did. I want to make it right, so this is what I'm going to do. You about to go on a world tour. Take them on tour. Let them make some money. You ain't got to pay them out of your pocket. But now you too busy gloating. You too busy rubbing it in they, yeah, man. I got that check from I'm About It, and other dudes, they ain't getting nothing. See, you doing a whole lot of rubbing it in people's faces. But why you rubbing it in their face when you owe them? Doesn't matter that it was 25 years ago. And I'm a No Limit fan, but it's not going to stop me from saying how I feel and what the truth seems to be. You owe them people money, and you should pay them. Well, all artists, man, they claim you owe them. Listen, man, I don't know what their dealings were. According to Tobin, according to MC8, he talked about it. You wasn't giving them people they publishing, which he didn't have to. A lot of people didn't get their publishing back then. But you wasn't giving, you would buy a person a house, you got to keep in mind in the mid-90s, you can spend 80, 90,000 on a nice house, 100,000. A few thousand on some clothes, 30,000 on a Camaro, if that, 20,000 on some jewelry. So you done spent 150, 160,000, 20, 30,000 in the account. So, less than 200 bands. And they feeling it, and they on the road, and they on TV, and they got a No Limit soldier tank, and they running around with you. You feeling like you on top of the world, but really you owe this person 600,000-700,000. Plus you keeping they publishing. So when Snoop said everybody on No Limit had they had a car, they had a house, and they had 2 guns, and they had money. Yeah, because it wasn't nothing. I'm gonna lace you with 200 bands. But guess what? All that money's coming back. Ain't nothing to give. Now I'm quite sure you treated Snoop differently. Silk the Shocker. C Murder. Mia X. Is C Murder receiving his royalties now? Is he receiving his publishing while he's locked up? I never see Master P with C Murder's daughters. I seen him one time in a concert and he brought him out. But I never really see Master P with C Murder's daughters. Not to say he's not doing anything for them, because I don't know. I'm just saying what I see. He's on social media about everything else. I see him promoting his sons. I never see him promoting Silk the Shocker's son. He's one of the coldest players in the country. I've seen him with his sons, Master P's sons. But I never really see him mention Silk the Shocker's sons. There's a whole lot of things that Master P does, and when people are saying these things, it makes me realize, like, man, I could see these things being true. It seems as though it's his way or the highway. If you're not rocking with him, If you're not rocking out, you know, with the decision that he wants to roll with, hey, you on your own. Cool. This man's still selling out, you know, 20, 21, 22,000 seat venues. Maybe not stadiums, but definitely arenas. And they're about to go on a big tour. The people that you owe, make it right with them, man. Quit talking about how many years ago. It doesn't matter how many years. Make it right. You truly a God-fearing man. Make it right. Now, I'm not saying that, again, I'm going to reiterate, the artists that, you know, are ungrateful, or the ones that didn't take care of their money, or the ones, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm simply saying you owe somebody. Tobin wasn't just lying. Do I think he was exaggerating as far as, you know, I think he was trying to take over your company and you wanted his jaw broke. I believe it, because I can see that. I can see as though he feels as though, man, you know, his company ain't nothing without me. Okay, he don't want to pay me, but can you blame me? Think if somebody owed you 400 G's now. This was in the 90s. 400,000, he said he had to pay off that $200,000 American Express card. He never got the $200,000 that P owed him for the album sales. It was just like, okay, you trying to take over my company? All right, cool. Cutting ties. You out of here. Okay, it was your right to do so, but you still owe him. Pay him. That's what I want to see P do. I want to see Master P do the right thing. You say you do. You're a God-fearing man. You doing the right. Pay the people you owe, P. I'm still a fan. I'm always be a fan. But that don't mean that you can just tell me anything. You can't tell me the sky's purple, and because you Master P, I'm gonna believe, man, the sky sure is purple. No. I'm gonna put, you know, I'm gonna connect the dots. 2 and 2 is always gonna be 4, however you want to put it. 2 plus 2. It's always gonna be 4. Pay what you owe. You have the means. I don't believe P's broke by any stretch of the imagination. And the reason I don't believe he's broke is for the simple fact that if you're able to sell out stadiums, 21, 22,000 seat stadium, arenas rather, not stadiums, arenas, I'm quite sure you've cut the middleman out to where you're your own promoter. So you making nice money and you barely go on tour. You just go, and I believe you're doing a lot of that just to put some money in, you know, the people that still rock with you. You know, the people that are still down with you. Mercedes, Mix, Fiend, Servon, Crazy. You see what I'm saying? Your brother Silk. Some of the people that still that you still, you know, cool with, you put some money in their pocket, plus you pick up a bag. I've seen you donate your whole earnings to charity. So no, I don't think Master P's nowhere near broke. Nowhere. So again, with that being said, man, instead of taking it out of your pocket, make it right with these people, man. Y'all go on tour. Let them earn them some money. You say, okay, oh, you 400,000 here. I'm gonna take you on tour, man. You gonna earn $1 million. You gonna earn, 800,000, whatever. I can't erase history, but I can make it right. Birdman made it right. Why can't you make it right? But now, your way or the highway, and that's not gonna get you nowhere. It's definitely not gonna get you anywhere. It's gotten you somewhere in life, so don't, again, I don't want to try to take away from your success. Hella successful. Type of money that you've seen, the type of money that you have right now. I don't know the percentage, but I'd say 99% of the world will never even touch or see the money that you have right now. I just want you to do the right thing, man. All this positivity. I know that you go into the communities, you give away food, you give away clothes, you do toy drives, you do Thanksgiving drives, you do Christmas drives, you do all of these things. I get it. I get it. But do right by the people that you sincerely owe. Do the right thing, man. Every time you ask P a question, he's never really forthcoming. He's forthcoming when he's trying to promote a project, a movie, something that he's trying to sell, but then you never hear anything else about it. And then when you ask him about it, he's not transparent. It just wasn't God, I put my trust and faith in God, and it just wasn't the time. What happened to the Skull Room? What happened to the movie Angola? What happened to... I never really heard him address Better Black Television. I never really heard him give us an explanation for why that didn't work. You see what I'm saying? Who's wearing the Mignotis? We want to see how many Mignotis are you actually selling? So he brings us these products, but he never really tells us anything else after that. And if these things happen to fail, which happens, you don't want to acknowledge it. Birdman, I respect Birdman. I respect P too, but Birdman will just tell you. He's transparent. He's not, it just wasn't time. And, when you put your trust and faith in God, man, the sky's the limit. And all those things are so true. And I'm not knocking any of that. But as a fan, we want transparency. What's up with you and Romeo? It's family business. Y'all took it to the internet. So if you take it to the internet, now it's family business. Y'all took it to the internet for the world to see. So people want to know what's really going on. What's up with this product? What's up with this business? What's up with that? Don't just talk about things because you want us to run out to the store and buy it, and then when we don't, and it just disappeared, we can't get an explanation on it. What's your role in the Snoop cereal? Are you the president, the vice president? Are you the owner, the CEO, 50%? Like, what's going on? We fans, we want to know. Once again, I done said it several times, it's not a Master P bash. Definitely not a Master P hating. But we just want to know some things. What's up with you and your brother, man? Why every time I see C Murder and they post something on his Instagram, he got Snoop, he got Romeo, he got Monica, he got all these other individuals, Kim Kardashian that are start, but I never see your name. I don't really even hear you mention him at this point. I have. Don't get me wrong, I have. I see you in the concerts, free C Murder. He's innocent. I never hear you talk about C Murder at this point. It's your brother, man. I'm not gonna stop till the casket drops. My brother's in there, and I know he's innocent. I'm not gonna stop. But again, some of these things are being done behind the scenes. Everything's not for camera, but yet you put everything on a camera. So being that you put everything on the camera, people want to know. People want to see certain things, man. They want transparency. I believe you love your brother, and I know that you've helped your brother tremendously. Tremendously. Probably spent millions. And you feel as though, because I've watched your videos, you feel as though he's ungrateful, but you got to understand, man, this man's sitting in prison with a life sentence. Well, he put himself there. Yeah, he may have put himself there, but still he's there. And he's definitely not feeling being there. Is it your fault? Absolutely, unequivocally not. It's not your fault that he's in prison. You tried to tell him. You tried to show him a better way. All of it, I get it. But when you go out here and you talking about, man, I try to tell him, man, he don't want to listen. And unfortunately, when you hang around these people, this happens. Man, that's not for, it's the truth. But some things are better left not said, or said in private, in public, opposed to public rather. Still a no limit soldier to heart. Still fool with you, but I just want to see you do the right thing, man, and pay them people what you owe them. Because $400,000 ain't nothing to you, but just imagine $400,000 to Tobin that you owe him, plus a little something for all the years he had to wait, would be tremendous, man. This ain't the military, man. It's real life. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Once again, I'm still a No Limit fan. I'm not hating. I'm just giving my perspective. Giving my reaction from what Tobin Costin had to say. I've been seeing the interview. Just giving my perspective. Real Kens.